I attend Pawtucket Congregational Church, and this was a neighborhood church that was established. Uh, the members of my family were one of the families that helped establish this church in 1715, and it's been pretty much a neighborhood church ever since then.
I work at the church for about 24 years as a sexton, and the sexton in a Protestant church is basically the maintenance person. I love doing maintenance. I love fixing things, taking care of things. I was offered the job almost a quarter century ago, and I fell in love with the church, and it's just a beautiful building, and for some reason I've just stayed, there, taking care of it little by little. Some great changes have happened down at the church. Chip Hamblett is probably one of the leading factors, motivators for a lot of people down there to get things done. And being a member of his team, I really am enthused about being on board with him.
I do a number of things at the church. My official role is chair of the finance board, and we're responsible for all the money at the church, and we're also responsible for the property and the equipment in the buildings, taking care of those.
23 years ago, 88, I was only preparing that building for a 10 o'clock Sunday service, and then the rest of the week, and the rest of the time, the building was vacant. So I started embarking on just taking care of the outside of the building. It's the entrance to Pawtucketville, and it's a beautiful building. And then little by little, more groups have started utilizing the church, and now it's on a daily basis that some of the groups actually overlap that are there. And to me, I'd rather see the church being used that way. It's part of the church's mission statement: reach out to the community.
We do a lot of outreach. We have a lot of anonymous groups. People come in, seek help from each other. We have a family play group. We participate in a soup kitchen for the homeless. So for a small church, we're mighty.
It's a family type church. It's suffering from the same thing that a lot of urban churches are, in that so many people moved to the suburbs back in the last several decades that our base of families has really shrunk, and a lot of the new families in the neighborhood have a different style of church, maybe ethnic churches, or maybe no churches at all. So we're struggling with that. We're trying to find out where we fit in the neighborhood, and we've reached out to a lot of groups, and we're thrilled to have your group staying with us this week, because that's what we want to do. We want to feel that we're reaching people and helping people.
The church itself, we have the original congregation is very small. It's about 30 people. And we've actually added 2 congregations. We added a Brazilian congregation that meets on Sunday nights, and they're actually Presbyterian.
Okay.
And we have a Mandarin speaking group that meets on Friday nights. We have a neighborhood planner who works for the city, the Department of Planning and Development. And she gave me a call, and she said, "Would you like to give a workshop on beekeeping?" And I said, "Sure." And that's how I got involved in Sustainability Week. Louisa and I are going to give a workshop.
In Lowell, we're really pretty busy because we have 2 rivers and numerous streams, and also the canals. So you might think that an urban area wouldn't be very busy protecting wetlands, but we are actually pretty busy, and there's been a lot of development, especially over the last 20 years. There's some folks that live in this neighborhood that are very worried about flooding. In 2006 and 2007, a lot of the neighborhood was underwater, and so the hydroelectric company now wants to put a pneumatic bladder dam installed down where we've had flashboards for the last 100 years, boards keeping the water back. And the neighborhood's very worried about that.
It's a big deal now, because I say to my kids, it's for them, it's their future now and stuff. And I have a dictionary from when I was a little kid, and recycling wasn't even in the dictionary back then. And then we look at what's in the dictionary nowadays. It is part of the vocabulary. But the city of Lowell encourages us because they allow us to recycle as much as possible. And so we want to jump on the bandwagon with that. So I go through the rubbish barrels and I point it out to them. Look at this can be recycled. This can't be recycled. Just to educate them. And little by little, we started out when the city started it with just one green bin. We put out 4 recycling bins and 1 rubbish bin now, which is nice. So it's funny how things have changed. It's a change, in our house, a lifestyle change that we're making in our house, going from the processed food down to more organic food, and a mentality change from how I was brought up and how our kids were brought up. And my kids are 21, 17, and 14, and they were part of the old way of how we did our food with a lot of processed food, sugar pops and stuff like that. And little by little, we found out our family has had some health problems along the way, and we've done some minor changes. People don't really react to change very well, but if you start in baby steps, little by little, it's happening, and it's with success in our house. As I said before, our junk food cabinet used to be a very large cabinet, and now it's not a large cabinet at all. I feel better. I think my kids feel better. Like I said before, my 14-year-old kid, he's starting to realize that the girls like him and he wants to stay fit. And that's a big deal. It's a great motivator, to eat healthy and stuff like that. Myself, my dad, he's had cancer, and part of his diet was the problem. And I'm going to learn from my dad. I guess you can learn from your parents, huh?
It's wild. I'm still trying to understand all the aspects of it. I get the technicalities. I get the idea that there are small groups and they're heading out in different directions, and I understand a little bit of the message that they're trying to convey. But I'm going to follow them on their blog. The air conditioner feels good.
I'm a director at Rebuilding Together Lowell. We're part of a national organization based, like I say, here in Lowell. Our objective is April 30th to make some very fortunate people, veterans, elderly, and seniors, warm, safe, and dry. Our newest thing is national organization is pushing the Green Initiative, trying to use more green practices within our operations. And they planted the seed last year at the national conference for us to go out to our contractors, skilled labor and unskilled labor. And it's a great move forward, I think, because I think that's the direction a lot of people are turning right now as far as the housing industry. Not only do you help the environment, but you can actually save yourself a lot of money in the long run. So we started that this year with our contractors. It's hard. Part of it is because they've been in the business for 25, 30 years, and to teach an old dog new tricks can be difficult at times. But we plant the seed, and we're going forward with it, and we've got to keep pushing within the organization every year that comes along. The best part of it is at the end of the day, as you go around, and I do the logistics of the building materials, is to see everyone, the people, like I said, the veteran, the senior, or the deserving homeowner, the smile on the face and the thank yous, the gratitude that comes is There's nothing that beats that.
Is that what you were able to use?